We're just west of Decatur, Texas. We're on, I believe, U.S. Highway 380. I wasn't sure if it was U.S. or State Highway 380. We're in the eastbound lanes. You can see we're about half a mile west of 287. As with the other sections here in the Fort Worth District, all of the delineators and the signs are up and mounted in the appropriate locations. You can just barely see the back of the sharp sign there next to the do not enter. The traffic monitoring station is up at the leave end of this particular test section because of the driveways here for the police station behind me. To give a representative count of the traffic, you can see it looking back here to the west. There's a series of there's a driveway there just before just between our sharp sign and the test section, and you've got the police station right here. This particular little gravel driveway is just to this property back here. I don't believe it gets a lot of traffic at all. You can see the materials sampling locations are pretty well patched. At this location you can hardly even tell where they were. Go back just to make sure I was in the right place. Go ahead and walk through the section. I did note for this particular section they had a 15-foot wide lane with the shoulder stripe, if you will, painted 3 feet off the edge of that paved lane to leave a 3-foot concrete shoulder, and then an additional 7 feet of asphalt. I indicated no lane shoulder separation or drop off because there is no joint at that particular location. But if one were to measure at this asphalt to concrete interface, again, there's really no separation. There is probably some drop off, but it'd probably be negative if anything. The seal coat there on the shoulder is a little bit higher than the concrete itself. Again, this section is in pretty good shape. Average of about 15 cracks per 100 feet, which would make about a little over a 6-foot spacing between 6 and 7. You can see that all the cracks are, for the most part, hairline cracks. There's little, if any, spalling on any of them. As is typically the case with CRC, there appears to be quite a bit of clustering of the cracks. We won't have any for about 12 feet, and then there'll be 3 in a row that'll be about a foot apart. You can see here where there's 2 right next to each other, about a 1.5 feet apart. This becomes particularly evident in the last couple of stations. We have a couple places where there's 4 or 5 cracks all within a 5 to 6 foot interval. You can see here a pretty good example of a couple cracks that are right on top of each other. not note any additional development in the vicinity of this section since my last visit. Still pretty much just farmland. Delineators were all up there. It looks like someone's bent the delineator post quite a bit, but the delineators are up. Here's the end of the section in Station 5. You can see up ahead there where they've installed the traffic monitoring box, the cables, and the loops out there in the road. I'll go ahead and shut it down for a minute and then I'll walk back to this section. Go ahead and walk back through the section. They were just informing me that they did have this counter up and running. They were wondering if that would be any problem, and I said no, but it will be pretty obvious that the traffic had been shut down for a couple hours in that particular area. That doesn't really present that many problems. Again, we are on US Highway 380 in Wise County. This is section 485310. We are in the eastbound lanes about half a mile west of Decatur, Texas, and US 287. I think you can tell from looking at the road that the cracks are all really low severity cracks. They're almost imperceivable. You can't really notice the cracks with the exception of where Larry's painted his little marks there to help him do his deflection testing. No real distress to speak of here. I didn't note any punch outs. There's no spalling longitudinal joint. As I noted earlier, no lane to shoulder drop off or lane to shoulder separation because the lane was paved 15 feet wide, and you can see the shoulder stripe was placed 3 feet off of that edge to provide a 3-foot monolithic concrete shoulder. This section looks in real good shape. All the signs and markings are in place. Again, this is US 380 in Wise County, half mile west of Decatur, Texas. And that concludes the video for section 485310.